Hello, this is Heisenberg, and I am delighted to be reviewing Bandai's Godzilla Resurgence figure. And also, stay tuned to the end of the video, because I'm also going to be showing the few photos that we have of other Godzilla Resurgence figures that will be released later. So here's a quick look there, but yeah, I'll show those more later on. So back to the Bandai Godzilla Resurgence figure. This is part of their movie monster series. It is out in Japan. It's not being sold in the US. I bought it from online realtor HobbyLink Japan. And here's some still photos from the upcoming Toho Godzilla Resurgence film. This is coming out in Japan at the end of July. Again, it's no release in the US yet. Alright, and back to the Bandai figure. But we'll compare the Bandai figure to a few other things for reference. Like here's a model. Here we go. Here's a model that was used in the making of Godzilla Resurgence. So this is, extremely detailed. Give you another look of what he looks like in the movie. And here's the Bandai figure again. And I must say, I'm quite pleasantly surprised by this Bandai figure. So it's close to 7 inches tall, but actually it looks much better in person than the photos I had seen of it online. So I am very pleased. So one more thing to compare it to. Here's a statue used to promote Godzilla Resurgence. This was sort of a human-sized statue set up in a mall in Japan. That's another look at this new Godzilla. Alrighty, back to the Bandai figure. As I said, very pleased with the figure. I like the red on it. The red is not as widespread on the figure as I would like. So we can see here, there's a little red on his neck and a lot on his chest, and also some on his back and on the tip of his tail. But it's not spread throughout the more of the body like it is in the movie. So I wish there was more red on him. But in terms of the sculpture is very pleased. I like the sort of like the charcoal. It's kind of a charcoal black, and the red is a fairly somewhat deep red. I wish the red was kind of like a deeper, darker red. But yeah, I really like. Yeah, I do like the color, the red color on him, and I like these spikes. I like the fact that there's at the widest there's 5 rows of spikes on his back of dorsal fins, which is more. 5 rows is more than we've normally get with Godzilla. And I think they're a little smaller and more numerous than a lot of other versions of Godzilla. But yeah, I like the way that those look. All right, let's start zooming in on different parts of him. Let's zoom in on the head. He's got that tiny little eye. So we do see little painted on teeth. So they're not quite as numerous or jagged as in the movie. But for sort of like a 6 or 7 inch figure, I think it looks. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's fine there. Yeah, good looking head. And let's zoom in on the spikes or the dorsal fins. And this is always one of my favorite parts of Godzilla. So I like these nice traditional dorsal fins that he has. And I like the red, the red in there. I like the fact that they're numerous. And looking at his chest, again, a lot of red on the chest. Again, I wish the red was on more of them than just sort of like the top of the chest there. But, what are you going to do? What are you going to do for sort of like all ages toy here? And here's the tiny little arms, rather controversial. So these do spin all the way around, and they're very tiny. So let's have a look at those. We'll compare those to some other versions of Godzilla a little later. And then let's look at the tail. Yeah, quite another thing that's very distinctive about this version of Godzilla. And again, it looks good. It looks good on this figure. The very long tail with the interesting tip, with sort of like the red tip, which looks like it has bones of animals on it. And this is also very, very nicely done on the figure. It looks a little ambiguous. It doesn't really look exactly like bones of animals or any particular animal, but it's certainly suggestive of that. Yeah. So yeah, see it from a few different sides here, a few different sides and angles. Let's look at the articulation. While we're doing that, let me ask, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. If you're a Godzilla fan, I'm making quite a bit of effort to get the latest Godzilla toys. and and show them, and review them, and also the Godzilla news. So please subscribe. Please subscribe to my channel. I do a few other videos besides Godzilla too, but one of my main interests is Godzilla. So let's compare him to the Bandai's 1968 figure. Quite a stark contrast between these two. These are two very different versions of Godzilla for sure. So one difference is the tail. 68 has a much shorter tail here, and then look at the difference in the arms. My word, that's quite startling. And let's also compare him to Bandai's 2014 Godzilla. So this is the U.S. version of This is the U.S. version of the Bandai Creations Godzilla 2014. There's a slightly different version that was released in Japan. So these two are also quite distinctive. They both have very tiny eyes, but beyond that, there's a lot of differences between these two guys. And look at them over there, and also a big difference in the arms, for example. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'll ever get used to these tiny arms on Godzilla Resurgence. And also difference in the tail. And just for kicks, let's compare them also to sort of the 10-inch Bandai 2014 Godzilla. Again, this was also released in the U.S. Alrighty, so he comes not in a box, but with a tag. So so he comes with a little tag attached to him. So I'll also show a still photo of the tag. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, I took the tag off of mine. So we're also expecting a 12-inch Bandai of this figure. So here's a few photos of it, or what we believe to be photos of it. And there's also going to be an SH Monster Arts Godzilla Resurgence. And this is probably going to be the best one. This is the one that I'm most excited about. Probably if you're only going to get one, this is probably the one to get. And then there's also a company called Banpestro is also making their own, but it's so expensive. I'm not sure it's worth the money. Alrighty, there we go. This is Heisenberg, hoping you enjoy your Bandai Godzilla Resurgence figure.